Farms. I just wanted to take you and show you our spring garden. This year what we did is we went to raised beds, and I composted manure and hay and chicken crap and eggs and all kinds of stuff for about the last 6 months to a year, and we made raised beds. We put them together in November-ish. We used some old trees we had cut down about 2 years ago. They're pine trees, so I didn't want to put any fresh pine trees there, but I had some old ones. And I filled them up with manure and compost. Our soil here is so bad, things just don't grow. So we did this, and we're getting some really good results. If you look out here, if you take a look, this was our garden the last 3 years. We have about an acre garden. I put sprinkler heads up. And 2 years ago we brought in 47,000 pounds of manure, and we got a pretty good garden. We planted this entire area. We were able to put up enough food to eat into February of that year. Last year I didn't have the time to bring in the manure. We planted the entire area, and we got one meal out of the garden. And this year with the raised beds, I feel like we're getting actually a better yield than when we planted the whole thing. Okay, as you can see, we've got squash planted here. I planted it very heavy. I mean, you should plant squash about 4 feet apart. And last year we planted about 4 feet apart, put in about 5 or 6 plants. Basically got a half a plant out of that. This year I said, the heck with this. I'm planting them 6 inches apart, and what lives, lives, and what dies, dies. And darn, they all lived. And we've got squash here. It's about a month and a half old. As you can see, there's a lot of plant here. And if you could see down into that jungle, you'd see that we've got a lot of flowers blooming, a lot of squash already on them. In this area, what we did is we made some greenhouse tubes using visqueen and PVC, and we started plants January 1st. We've been harvesting broccoli. We've got some spinach here, Swiss chard. I'm not sure what my herb is right there. Have to ask my wife. We've got bell peppers, and then my Lucy planted this end. This end hasn't been growing very well, so she just replanted it. And then over here we have carrots and onions, and celery, and I'm going to replant that area right there with bell peppers again today, so we'll have some when they run out. And what I like about this area is when it gets hot here in July, I'm going to cover it with shade cloth. A few years ago, when our garden did fairly well, I had a bunch of bean plants, velvet beans, cover my tomatoes, and I actually got tomatoes all the way into September. So that went very well. Over here, I have tomato plants that we started in our greenhouse tubes January 1st. They got hit on Martin Luther King Day. Temperature dropped down to 20, and they all got hit pretty bad from the frost. Thought I lost them, and they came back super strong, and they're doing extremely well. Then over here we have leeks and I don't know what that stuff's called. I call it cabals, but it's like colorful stuff. We have chives. We have okra. Okra's growing all right. They say you can grow okra in concrete, but I've never been able to grow okra very well. And we have pole beans. And we have lavender planted here in this dirt, and it's just not coming up, so I'm going to plant some more peppers in it. We have dill, basil, we got cilantro. As you can see, we have cilantro. We're going to become the cilantro kings in North Florida. And we have tomatillas. I'm really excited about my potatoes. I'll give you a look at what we're doing with the potatoes. I used to plant about 7 to 10 rows of potatoes and work like a dog, come out every day after work and mound them, and just really spent a lot of time working on my potatoes. And sometimes I'd get 5 or 6 potatoes from plants, sometimes I get 3. One time I got 21, but that's because I mounded it up real high. So what I've done here, is I've cut pallets in half, and I planted the potatoes at ground level, and I've got my compost pile, as you can see right there, and I'm just taking the compost and putting it on the potatoes. I just covered these potatoes up last Saturday, and so it's been a week, and had a little bit of potatoes sticking out, and you can see how much they've grown. I've got this wire up around here just to keep the chickens out of them. Potato plants are toxic to animals, but for some reason chickens like to eat them. So just trying to keep the chickens out of it. You got to do that when you have animals. I'm getting ready to add another rung of pallets. My goal is to get up to the top of these T-posts, and when it's time to harvest, I'll just take my pallet down and work down a plant, fill up the bucket of the tractor with the compost, and go dump it back on the pile to mix it in and reuse next year. Big thing with the garden, I mean, when you look, this is a lot of work. I mean, we had days and days and days of prepping our garden to get ready to grow. The raised beds reduced that work down, I bet you, to 20%, and I think we're going to get 2 to 3 times the yield out of what we did, just because we're planting with a higher intensity. We're able to water more efficiently, able to fertilize more efficiently. I think we're going to get a better yield. Now, with that being said, we're moving towards aquaponics. My goal is to put greenhouses in this entire area and back over in that area, and convert this to aquaponic greenhouses. And when I look at that, the yield is going to increase 100 times over, and the work level is going to decrease. Every day we come out and weed. With aquaponics, you don't have to weed. You know, your time goes to making sure your water's regulated and things like that properly. But very excited about that venture. Thank you for watching this video, and happy gardening. Oh, I'm sorry, and visit us at www.happyheartfarms.com.